Power Apps in SharePoint don't always play nicely, especially when it comes to displaying PDFs. You might assume that you can just drop in a PDF viewer control, point it at your SharePoint document library, and call it a day, but that doesn't work. When attempting to display SharePoint PDFs directly in Power Apps, two main technical barriers prevent success. The first is a URL format problem. The PDF viewer control expects URLs in a specific format with particular parameters. Raw SharePoint document URLs don't match this expected format. And next are authentication issues. Even if you copy a direct link to a SharePoint document, when that link is used in Power Apps, it often loses the necessary authentication context needed to access that document. Our solution involves creating a hyperlink column in your SharePoint document library that links to each document. This column is then formatted to display as a picture. In Power Apps, we use the lookup function to retrieve this column's value, which provides the properly formatted URL that the PDF viewer control can use to display the document. Let's take a look at an example. Here I have a document library with a new employee handbook PDF in here. And you can see that I've added a custom column here with our solution. And in Power Apps, when I view my Power App and a user clicks the Review Employee Handbook button, they're going to see that Employee Handbook PDF show up here. They can scroll through it and interact with that PDF. Let's get into building our PDF control. To start building this solution, you'll want to start with a document library here with any PDFs that you may want to include in your Power App. Over in Power Apps, you'll want to start with a blank screen here that we have room to add our PDF viewer, and you'll want to have your document library in SharePoint connected as a data source. So to get started here, we're going to go ahead and go into the tree view, and we're going to click Insert, and we're going to search for the word PDF, and we're going to be using this experimental PDF viewer. It's going to insert in here a sample PDF, and I'm going to resize this on the left-hand side here so that we could have room to add other possible controls or inputs here. Now you'll notice that there's a document property, and in here is the sample PDF. We're going to leave this for now until we get our PDF set up. And what we're going to do here in this document library, we're going to look at which document we'd like to use. And for this example, we'll use the 2020 benefits explanation document. And over here in Power Apps, we're going to delete this sample PDF, and we're going to use the lookup function. And here, our source for our lookup function is our documents library that we've loaded in called Documents. And our condition is if the file name and that column in SharePoint is called name. You can see that here. We're looking if the name equals, and we're going to put the quotes and type in the SharePoint document name here. We're going to end that with an end quote and close the parentheses, and we're going to use the dot here. And the first thing that we may think of to use is the link to item. So if I click on this link to item property, you're going to see that it's going to take a second here to load, but it's not going to end up being able to show me my PDF. Now you'll see here that it can't open that PDF file. It's asking you to open it in the browser instead. If we want our PDF to show up here, we need to add the custom column in SharePoint. So I'm going to come over to SharePoint, and I'm going to add a column here, and I'm looking for the hyperlink type, and click Next. And I'm going to call this my PDF column. And I'll go ahead and click Save. And now what I want to do is I want to get the direct link to this PDF document. Now I don't want the SharePoint share link. I'm going to go ahead and click the ellipses here and click to open in the browser. And when I open this in the browser, it's going to open a completely separate Adobe page here. I'm going to use the share option here, and I'm looking for the direct PDF URL and click the copy link here. I'm going to come back to my SharePoint document library, click Edit in Grid View, and I'm going to add that link here to my PDF column and click OK. And now I'll exit the grid view. And now you can see that I have that link to the direct document. And now what I want to do in SharePoint is I want to format this hyperlink column into something that SharePoint can pull from. And that happens to be a picture. So I'm going to go up into the document library settings and click Library Settings. Then click More Library Settings. And then I want to select the PDF column that I created. Once I select this column, it's going to take me to the editing here. And I'm going to use this format URL as a picture. Now I'm going to click OK. And now that my URL is formatted as a picture, I can go back into my documents library and I can see that my PDF hyperlink shows up a little bit differently. Now I'll come back into Power Apps and we're going to go over into the Data section, and you'll want to select your document library and click Refresh. And that'll just make sure that that new column is brought into Power Apps. And now we can reference that new column here in our PDF control. I'm going to delete the link to item, and I'm going to search for our PDF column and give it a moment here, and our PDF shows up. I can click Preview and I can scroll to view this entire PDF. Now you're not locked into this document if you click Close here and you decide that you need to change your PDF that you're looking at here. You'll want to do this in the exact same way. Click More Actions, open in the browser, and then you'll want to make sure that you get the direct share link here by clicking Share and copy the link. And then you'll come back into SharePoint, click Edit in Grid View, and paste that into the PDF column. Notice that you can still paste a direct link into that PDF column, and it's going to show up as that picture item. And then here we can go ahead back into our app, and we can instead point it at the new employee handbook PDF, and we'll see that it displays that updated document. And that's how to show a PDF from SharePoint in a PDF control.